Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to the channel because stories like this one are getting harder to find. And once they're gone for good. Close your eyes for a second and imagine holding history in the palm of your hand. Not history from a textbook, but history that carries weight, metal, memory, and meaning. A coin that doesn't shout, doesn't beg for attention, yet quietly commands respect from those who truly understand what they're looking at. Today we're talking about the 1 Rand 1979 Diedrichs coin from South Africa, a piece that speaks directly to men who've lived long enough to know that real value is often hidden beneath the surface. This coin comes from a time when money felt solid, when currency wasn't just numbers on a screen, but something you could feel between your fingers. 1979 was not a simple year for South Africa or the world. It was a period shaped by political tension, economic pressure, and deep questions about identity, leadership, and the future. Coins minted during such times are never ordinary because they carry the fingerprints of history itself. The Diedrichs name on this coin is not just a design choice. It represents leadership, authority, and an era where decisions carried consequences that echoed for generations. For collectors who are 55 and older, this isn't abstract history. This is lived history. You remember the headlines, the radio broadcasts, the conversations that happen late at night over coffee or something stronger. This coin comes from that world. The 1 Rand denomination itself tells an important story. It was never meant to be flashy. It was meant to be reliable, honest. A working man's coin. The kind of money that passed through real hands, paid for real goods, and supported real families. That alone gives it emotional weight, especially for men who built their lives through decades of discipline, sacrifice, and persistence. What makes the 1979 issue stand out is the precision of its minting and the intent behind its release. Every line, every curve, every detail was deliberate. This was a time when craftsmanship mattered, when shortcuts were frowned upon, when quality was a reflection of national pride. You can see it in the strike, in the balance of the design, in the way the coin feels solid and confident rather than decorative. Collectors often talk about rarity, but true rarity isn't just about numbers. It's about survival. How many of these coins were melted down, lost, forgotten in drawers, or spent without a second thought? How many survived decades of economic shifts, policy changes, and the gradual erosion of physical currency itself? The answer is far fewer than most people realize. For the seasoned eye, this coin represents something deeper than metal. It represents endurance. It represents a system that once believed in permanence. That belief resonates strongly with men who grew up fixing things instead of replacing them, maintaining tools instead of throwing them away, and valuing substance over surface. Yet there's also a psychological pull to coins like this. They remind us of a time when value felt anchored, when money didn't change overnight because of a headline or a tweet, when saving meant something tangible. Holding this coin can feel like holding a piece of stability from a less frantic world. Over the years, stories have grown around the 1 Rand 1979 Diedrichs coin. Some are whispered among serious collectors. Others are debated passionately behind closed doors. What's agreed upon is that this coin is not judged by ordinary standards. It exists in a category of its own, shaped by history, scarcity, symbolism, and the mystery that surrounds certain surviving examples. Men who understand long-term value recognize that some objects transcend their original purpose. A watch becomes an heirloom. A car becomes a legacy. A coin like this becomes a marker of time, a silent witness to decades of change. It doesn't need hype. It doesn't need modern packaging. Its power lies in what it represents, and who understands it. Interest in tangible assets grows again, especially among those who've seen financial cycles rise and fall. Coins like this draw renewed attention, not from speculators looking for quick wins, but from individuals who think in decades, not days. People who ask not, what is it worth today, but what does it mean, and what will it represent tomorrow? There's also pride involved. Pride in owning something authentic. Pride in recognizing quality without needing approval. Pride in understanding that history is not something you scroll past. but something you preserve that if you've made it this far, you already understand that this isn't just about a coin. It's about memory, judgment, and perspective. It's about recognizing significance where others see only metal. And now, as promised, we come to the figure that has captured attention, sparked debate, and elevated this coin into legend. Before we dive into today's fascinating coin story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the rich world of coins, history, and hidden treasures. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's take a step back in time. Picture it. South Africa, the year 1967. A year filled with change, challenge, and quiet power. Amidst the political tension and cultural shifts, everyday people went about their lives, handling coins that told silent stories. And in the pockets and purses of citizens, one small yet mighty piece of metal stood out, the 10-cent coin of 1967. This coin might seem small, just another piece of silver-toned currency, but when you really look at it, when you hold it in your hand, it becomes something far more than just 10 cents. It becomes a gateway, a key to the past, a living artifact. The 1967 South African 10-cent coin was part of a series that followed the country's transition from the British-influenced system of pounds, shillings, and pence into the modern decimal system. This decimalization happened just 1 year prior in 1966. So the 1967 coin wasn't just currency. It was a symbol of modernization, a marker of a new era for the country. And for those who lived through that shift, there's no forgetting it. On one side of the coin, you'll see the iconic image of the protea flower, South Africa's national flower. The design is simple, elegant, and unmistakably proud. The lines are clean, the relief deep, and the message clear. This is a coin born of South African soil. The words SUID Africa and South Africa are inscribed in bold around the edge, a reminder of the country's dual linguistic heritage. Flip the coin, and you'll be greeted by the classic image of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch settler often credited with founding Cape Town. His profile appears strong and steady, like a monument carved in metal. His presence on the coin is no accident. It was meant to instill a sense of continuity, of legacy, even as the country changed the way it measured its money. Now, to a young man in 1967, maybe this coin wasn't much. Maybe it bought a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or a quick tram ride. But for the older generation, the ones who remembered the war, who knew the taste of real hardship, this coin held more weight. It wasn't just about what it could buy, but what it represented. Stability in a time of change. Familiarity in the face of progress. That if you're watching this, chances are you remember those times. You remember the smell of fresh bread in the corner shop, the sound of coins clinking on the counter. You remember what 10 cents could actually do. And maybe, just maybe, you've still got one of those 1,967 coins tucked away in an old drawer or hidden in a cigar box, waiting to be rediscovered. But here's where things get interesting. You see, not all coins are created equal. Some are mass-produced, worn down, and forgotten. But others, well, they become treasures. The 1967 10-cent coin, especially in top condition, is one of those hidden gems that collectors seek out, not just for its silver shine or its historical face, but for its story, its symbolism, its scarcity. And that brings us to the heart of this video, the value. That's what everyone wants to know, right? What's it really worth today? But let's hold that thought just a moment longer. Because value isn't always just about money. Sometimes it's about meaning, about the memories that come rushing back when you hold a piece of your past. It's about the feeling of legacy, of something enduring. And in a world that moves faster every day, that's something truly valuable. Still, let's talk numbers. Because while the emotional weight is real, the financial value can be surprising too, especially for a coin like this. Condition matters, rarity matters, and most of all, timing matters. A coin like the 1967 10 cents, if kept in mint or near mint condition, can reach impressive heights in today's collector's market. The truth is, this isn't just a 10-cent coin anymore. For those who know what they're looking for those who understand the coin's historical context, its craftsmanship, its place in a shifting nation, it can be worth far more. Now imagine this. A perfectly preserved 1967 10-cent coin, with its crisp lines, untouched edges, and deep luster. It's not just a collector's item. It's an investment, a prize, a rare find. And today, in top-graded condition, this very coin has been valued at up to 1 million South African rand. Yes, you heard that right. 1 million. A single coin, once worth 10 cents, now potentially worth 1 million. That's not just a story about inflation or scarcity. That's a story about time, patience, and respect for history. Oh, here's the takeaway. If you have one of these coins, don't brush it off. Don't toss it in a jar or forget about it. Take a closer look. Check its condition. Consider its story. Because in your hands, you may not just be holding change. You may be holding a legacy, a fortune, a silent piece of power from a time that shaped us all. And if you've stayed with me until now, I appreciate you. This channel is for people like you. People who understand that behind every old coin is a tale worth telling. If that sounds like you, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because this is just the beginning. We have so much more to uncover, so many more stories to bring back to life.